Welcome to Stats Madness. Joining me today is Frank Hardy. We'll dissect Manchester City's 3-0 victory over Brentford. With this win, City climbs to second with 71 points, as Brentford sits 8th on 51. Let's start with the match dynamics. In City's dominant 3-0 win, their attack seemed unstoppable. Could you break down the numbers behind that performance?
Absolutely, Jamie. Manchester City showcased an overwhelming attacking edge, with 25 total shots compared to Brentford's 4. They also managed 10 shots on target, far exceeding Brentford's 2. This aggressive offense was reflected in their 3 goals to Brentford's none.
Wait, really? And they maintained that pressure throughout? How did they capitalise on those chances?
Indeed, the pressure was relentless. City created 6 big chances versus Brentford's 2, demonstrating their ability to capitalise on opportunities. Despite missing 5 big chances, their precision in execution, particularly through clinical finishes, made the difference.
You mentioned City's relentless attack. How did they sustain their momentum through different intervals?
City's momentum was evident in the 15-30-minute window with 7 shots and 4 accurate crosses, dominating Brentford's 1 shot and 0 accurate crosses. Their possession peaked at 67.6% during 30-45 minutes, showcasing control. Success in crosses, 56.7% in 15 to 30 minutes, and 63 successful passes in 30 to 45 minutes highlighted their tactical edge. Jeremy Doku's goal at 60 minutes and Erling Haaland's at 75 minutes further solidified their dominance.
City's control was impressive. How does today's performance stack up against their season averages?
Manchester City posted 10 shots on target, far exceeding their season average of 5.51. They had 25 total shots, well above the 15.66 average. With 6 big chances created versus the usual 3.26 and 15 goal attempts compared to 10, it's a standout performance. Notably, 15 shots inside the box against an average of 11.34 indicates their surging in offensive consistency.
With City's offensive surge clear, how do they rank in terms of league standing across key metrics?
Manchester City is consistently elite across the board. They've hit the top 0% in shots total with 25, far above the 12.4 league average. Their big chances created are also at 6, against a 2.26 norm, showing marked improvement.
So, they're dominating offensively, but what about possession? It seemed different today.
Indeed, their ball possession fell to 59% from a 60.6% season norm, still above the 50% league average. This drop is atypical for them.
We saw City's offensive dominance earlier, but how does their performance compare to their top 6 peers?
Manchester City leads the pack with a 3.26 average in big chances created, surpassing Arsenal's 3.09. They also edge out Liverpool and Manchester United with 15.66 shots total. However, in long passes, City lags behind at 38.63 compared to AFC Bournemouth's 53.14. Lastly, their ball possession of 60.6% keeps them ahead of Liverpool and Arsenal.
So, while City's peers chase them, how did Brentford stack up against their own season averages today?
Brentford excelled in saves, recording 7.0 against a season average of 2.78. Blocks were impressive too, hitting 8.0 compared to their usual 4.17. However, they slightly exceeded their typical big chances missed with 2.0, just above the average of 1.91. These figures suggest a mixed performance, balancing defensive strengths with missed opportunities.
With Brentford's mixed performance in saves and blocks, how does their current league standing reflect their season identity?
Brentford's league identity shows an identity crisis in big chances created, producing only 2 today against a season average of 3.14, higher than the league norm of 2.26. Their usual strength in this area was absent.
Wait, really? And what about their defensive actions? Any standout performances there?
Interestingly, Brentford showed atypical strength with tackles, recording 22 today, surpassing their season average of 14.56 and the league average of 16.69. This is remarkable given their usual bottom 10% ranking in this stat.
With Brentford's defensive identity explored, how do they stack up against their mid-8 peers in key stats?
Brentford lags in shots total, averaging 10.56 against a peer average of 12.3. In ball possession, they fall short with 47.5% compared to 52.41%. However, they excel in big chances created, with 3.14 keeping them ahead of Chelsea and Leeds United. Also, their long passes average of 57.92 tops Sunderland and Everton. This mixed performance showcases strengths in specific areas while highlighting gaps.
With Brentford's mixed stats against their peers covered, let's explore top player ratings. Who stood out in recent performances?
Jeremy Doku was the standout in the forward line with a dominant 8.79 rating, one of the highest across the entire pitch. Kelleher delivered an excellent shift in goal for Brentford, earning a 7.81 rating. Omar Marmoush, with a solid 7.45, kept Manchester City's field organised. Mark Gahey led the defensive line with a 7.44, while Bernardo Silva topped the midfield unit with 7.32. These players significantly impacted their respective areas, showcasing their influence on the game's outcome.
After the impressive player ratings, I'm curious about Jeremy Doku's individual stats. How do they stack up against his season average?
Jeremy Doku's recent performance was outstanding. He scored a rating of 8.79, far above his season average of 7.23. His chances created soared to 6, a personal best against his typical 2.89. He also had 6 successful dribbles, doubling his average of 3.16, and his shots on target increased to 2, surpassing the 1.67 norm. These numbers highlight his incredible form.
With Jeremy Doku surpassing his season averages, how does he measure up against league benchmarks overall?
Jeremy Doku is exceptional. In chances created, he ranks in the top 2% with 6, against a league norm of 1.65. For shots on target, he's again in the top 2%, hitting 2 compared to 1.24. Most impressively, his 6 successful dribbles place him in the top 1%, where the league average is just 1.64. His performances are not just above average, they're elite.
Jeremy Doku's league standing is impressive. Now, how does he compare to his positional peers in key metrics?
Jeremy Doku is leading among his peers in several areas. His goals average of 1.25 is ahead of Bukayo Saka's 1.0. For chances created, Doku's 2.89 surpasses peers like Saka at 2.22. In accurate crosses, he averages 1.8, besting Saka's 1.49. However, Doku trails in assists with 1.25 compared to Jack Grealish's 1.29. Overall, he's performing at an elite level.
Doku's comparison to peers was enlightening. Now, how does Kelleher stack up against his own season averages?
Kelleher is outperforming himself in several areas. His saves have hit 7.0, remarkably higher than his 3.23 average. Inside the box, he also registered 7.0, compared to the seasonal 2.42. His match rating of 7.81 is above his usual 6.91. However, he conceded 3 goals, slightly more than his 1.84 average, showing room for improvement.
Kelleher's season averages were impressive, but how does he rank against the league's top goalkeepers?
Kelleher stands out significantly in league rankings. His saves are at 7, putting him in the top 28% of goalkeepers, compared to the league average of 2.85. For saves inside the box, he's also impressive, ranking in the top 27% with an average of 2.4 versus the league's 2.1. Even in punches, he's above average, ranking in the top 26% with a seasonal average of 1.6, compared to the league's 1.4.
With Kelleher's impressive league standing, let's pivot to strikers. How does Erling Haaland compare to his positional peers this season?
Erling Haaland is dominating. His goals per game are at 1.37, leading peers like Igor Thiago, who averages 1.2. In shots on target, he's at 2.07, surpassing the average of 1.6. Notably, his total shots are 3.73, significantly ahead of Matheus Cunha's 2.77. These metrics highlight Haaland as a top-tier striker this season.
Reflecting on Haaland's dominance, Manchester City's 3-0 victory showcased superior chance creation and 59% possession. Frank's insights unraveled the tactics behind their success. Thanks for joining us on Stats Madness. I'm Jamie Allen, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.